Hey guys, Varuna here. This is a 12-win event guide for Agents of the Sigillite Warlord, Tylos Rubio. I've gathered data on 12 Rubio decks that were able to do a full 12-win run. I'll be placing the cards into tiers based on the pick rates and the quality of the cards themselves. The data used will be posted at the end of the video. Cards placed in F tier are terrible because they have underwhelming stats or only work well in certain situations. A good example of this is Fierce Tenacity, in which it requires not only a troop to activate, but preferably one with high HP to use its effect twice. Cards such as Emperor's Approval are only useful when you're so far ahead that you can afford to use up most of a turn to power up all your other cards. It would be a massive detriment when behind. As for these two, they are both way too expensive, and their effects are not strong enough to justify adding them to the deck. C-tiered cards are fine additions when they are included with cards tiered above them. While most of the seals are powerful, the fact that you cannot guarantee drawing them from the deck makes acquiring them an unreliable win strategy. That's why any card that's main function is to generate seals or acquire them from the deck, such as these three, will always belong to C-tier. Other C-tier cards are like Execution Force. If you can get lucky and target an essential card, it's fantastic, but it's bad if the selected card never gets played. Sometimes C-tier is home to cards that should be a higher tier, but don't have high pick rates for various reasons. Prometheus is actually a great card. Unfortunately, he only appears when other legendaries are shown when drafting, and he's out-tiered by at least 3 of them. As for the last legendary card, Cerberus, he is probably the worst of the 5, but he at least has great stats for his cost. Cards placed in B tier are strong cards overall and usually offer some kind of great utility. A good example is New Loyalty, in which it can be used at the start of any turn to choose a troop that is best suited for your hand based on your current energy level. Other cards such as Malcador Circle are strong in the early game, and if not dealt with can provide you with a strong wall to build up your board. Some of these B tier cards are great because they pressure your opponent, such as a troop they will want to destroy right away. For instance, if Vardis Ison lasts 1 turn, he can neutralize any one troop on the field for just 2 energy, making him an incredible nuisance. Or Revuel Arvida, as he can not only hit stealth troops, but he can deal considerable damage to the enemy board if you can play several cheap tactics in a row. All A tier cards offer exceptional value for their cost, and either have a big impact to the board when played, or put a lot of pressure on the opponent. All 3 of these are great not only because they deal decent damage for their cost, they can also hit the enemy warlord, making them good for chipping away at the opponent's last few hit points. As for Bodvar Bajarki, his ward makes him an excellent target for any kind of buff, and his secondary effect is nice if a bit unreliable. These are 3 neutral cards to look out for when drafting. The cards usually paired with them are fine too. Secretary Pelt Stats and Informant Network are essential for destroying problematic stealth troops such as Emshen, Aristide Kell, and Ganymus, who can snowball games if not dealt with. Finally, we arrive in S tier. These are unambiguously the best cards in the Agents of the Sigillite faction. Emshen can swing games hard if he happens to target a high energy troop to transform into. He also always requires 2 hits to destroy when transformed, making him an incredible nuisance for your opponent. Euphrates Keeler has considerable value for 3 energy, and is essential for protecting other troops so they can keep constant pressure on your opponent. Aristide Kill is incredibly strong, just not always used correctly. You want to protect him with frontline units or buff him with a tactic before activating his ability for the first time. Then you can safely deal 5 damage for several turns in a row. That concludes this 12-win event guide for Tylos Rubio. Thanks for watching. If you like this guide, be sure to hit the subscribe button and hit the bell so you can be notified of future guides I make. Do you agree with where I placed each card in the tier list? Be sure to let me know in the comments below. Now go out there and get your own 12-win event run.